Simmons. I'm the Executive Director of Coney Island, USA. National Culture Lab and us would love to invite you to this, the final night of the 8th Annual Ritual Cabaret.
Yeah.
Tonight's event is the living newspaper. For those of you who may not know, this is a tradition of theater as informing and theater as performing. In particular, in the 1930s, at the height of the Depression, the Works Progress people established the Living Newspaper Project to allow artists to inform the public about what was going on at that time and the hazards that were on the horizons. Keep this in mind tonight. And for those of you who this may be your first time in Coney Island, USA, welcome. If you don't know, Coney Island, USA is responsible for such programming as the Coney Island Circus Sideshow here in the historic Sideshow by the Seashore, as well as the Mermaid Parade. These are difficult times. Challenges have always faced everyone at different points, but performance has always been central to trying to express these moments. And so as this is coming tonight, think about where we are, think about where we've been, and think about how you celebrate your resistance.
Turn off your phones.
Yeah, cell phones off.
Said I ought to be in jail. Fuck you. I won. After all I did for all those judges, every ruling should have been for me, but they weren't. Nonetheless, fuck you. I won. Those bastards tried to ruin me. Those commie bastards tried to ruin me. They said terrible things about me on the network they control that ought to be illegal, that I will make illegal. But for now, fuck you. I won. Did I mention that I won? Because I fucking did. How is it possible, you might be saying? You looking up at me, see me looking back at you. You want to know, how is this possible? I'll tell you how it's possible. Bullshit is how it's possible. Bullshit is how I'm president. Bullshit is how I'm not in jail. Bullshit is me and my pal Bullshit. We go way back. Nobody knows bullshit like I do. Biden and his criminal gang tried to ruin me, but hey, guess what? Fuck you. I won. American freedom, which is awesome, requires that everyone always talks about American freedom and how awesome it is, because when everybody only talks about American freedom and how awesome it is when we are Americans who are freely being awesome, then everything gets even more awesome. And that is how we here at Amazon Newspaper, which I totally own, plan to help America. From now on, we want to spread awesomeness all over our great land like margarine over the toast of well-being. Freedom and awesomeness all day, every day. That's what we'll be talking about from now on. Freedom, America, and awesomeness all day, every day, because this is America and freedom and awesomeness, and it can never get boring. It can never get boring. It can never get boring because it is not boring. It is awesome. American awesome. It is American awesome because we are Americans, and freedom and awesomeness. This came to me as like a vision. I saw all this, and then the Lord or someone like him said, do this, Jeff. This is what you must do, Jeff. Yes, I said. I accept, I said. And then I said to the editor, can you dig it? And he said, no, Jeff, I cannot dig it. And I said, be gone, loser. So now we've turned the page on that commie loser and we'll replace him with a different one who will join me in looking forward to talking all the time about America and freedom and how awesome it is and markets and how exploitation of the lesser by their superiors isn't exploitation because that sounds bad, so we shall call it nature. Nature and natural and totally awesome, and private finance is not at all like a colonial power, and we are not a society that's eating itself because these things are impossible. Because we are Americans, freedom, awesome, and we shall henceforth only be saying that at this place that I totally own.
Yes, I am Carlos Ramirez. What is this about?
I think you know what this is about. You're in this country illegally, you'll have to come with us.
No, Papa, please don't go.
Just let me take my daughter to school. Please, it's only 2 blocks away.
It's only 2 blocks away. And she can walk there herself.
And
She
besides,
looks old enough.
wouldn't you rather go to be detained than embarrass your daughter in front of her friends at school?
No, Papa, please don't go.
Let me explain to her. Leave her that. It will be okay. Ask Mrs. Lee to call her neighbor Celia to pick you up after school. I'll be back soon, Libertad. These men just have some questions.
Questions? What questions? Why can't they ask you now? No, Papa, please don't go. child of immigrants. Today, my papa was taken away by La Migra. I've watched my family, my father, become the scapegoats of our new home's problems their administration fails to fix. I've grown up and watched my classmates rejoice over elections that threaten to take away our way of life, over resources we're taking but never see. Does it matter anymore that I was born here? Does it matter that Papa has been working and paying taxes here longer than I have been alive? Do we not stimulate the economy they're working so hard to destroy enough to justify my existence here? Come back! I have questions too! Come back!
They're
I have
poison-
questions!
They're poisoning the blood of our country. That's what they've done. They poisoned mental institutions and prisons all over the world, not just in South America, not just the 3 or 4 countries that we think about, but all over the world. They're coming into our country from Africa, from Asia, all over the world. They're pouring into our country. Nobody's even looking at it. They're coming from everywhere. They're coming from all over the world, from prisons and jails, mental institutions, and insane asylums, emptying out their prisons, and jails, their insane asylums, their mental institution, and our country's being turned into a dumping ground, and the entire world is laughing at it. An illegal alien animal. The Democrats say, please don't call them animals, they're humans. I said, no, they're not humans, they're animals. Nancy Pelosi told me that. She said, please don't use the word animals when you're talking about these people. I said, I'll use the word animal, because that's what they are.
My name is Libertad Iluminado el Mundo. Liberty enlightening the world. But you can call me Lady Liberty. You will not make puppets of my family anymore. And you are not welcome here, little man.
American freedom, which is awesome, requires that everyone always talks about American freedom and how awesome it is, because when everybody only talks about American freedom and how awesome it is when we are Americans who are freely being awesome, then everything gets even more awesome. And that is how we here at Amazon Newspaper, which I totally own, plan to help America. From now on, we want to spread awesomeness all over our great land like margarine over the toast of well-being. Freedom and awesomeness all day, every day. That's what we'll be talking about from now on. Freedom, America, and awesomeness all day, every day, because this is America and freedom and awesomeness, and it can never get boring. It can never get boring. It can never get boring because it is not boring. It is awesome. American awesome. It is American awesome because we are Americans, and freedom and awesomeness. This came to me as like a vision. I saw all this, and then the Lord or someone like him said, do this, Jeff. This is what you must do, Jeff. Yes, I said. I accept, I said. And then I would say to the editor, can you dig it? And he said, no, Jeff, I cannot dig it. And I said, be gone, loser. So now we've turned the page on that commie loser and we'll replace him with a different one who will join me in looking forward to talking all the time about America and freedom and how awesome it is and markets and how exploitation of the lesser by their superiors isn't exploitation because that sounds bad, so we shall call it nature. Nature and natural and totally awesome, and private finance is not at all like a colonial power, and we are not a society that's eating itself because these things are impossible. Because we are Americans, freedom, awesome, and we shall henceforth only be saying that at this place that I totally own.
Good evening, class. Thank you for making it on time today. Welcome. The U.S.-Mexico border spans roughly 1,984 miles, 1,900 of which are patrolled by the U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, also known as ICE. Frigid, cold, unrelenting ICE, who continue to reinforce the border as a crisis or an invasion, brick by brick, building upon a culture of fear and fueling the idea of needing to protect the security of the country, thus requiring the further fortification of the border wall itself. Like the physicality of the border itself, the narratives of what the border is and who it crosses are also constructed, arguably by political rhetoric, vocabularies, and through a racialized lens. While scholars explain that migration is a frequent occurrence that happens across human history, the current political climate of the United States has exacerbated these narratives of the criminality of migration, including those from the highest forms of political office. You know who I'm talking about. John Washington reveals to us the Germans once used the term Mauerkrankheit, or wall sickness, It is a violence, this sickness, the wall creeping into the head, that is one of the most dangerous developments in the world today, imperiling millions of people who are forced from their homes by war, economic development, economic despoilment, or climate crisis, and then barred from finding homes elsewhere. But today, we smash ice. We smash ice, the abductions, the separations, the racism, the checkpoints, the imperialism. We smash ice as a reminder that migration is human and migration is beautiful. Today is a reminder of the light that shines beyond the concrete, steel, cold metal bars of delineated territories to a place where everyone is welcome and nobody is illegal.
We're closing the Department of Education, and to do that, we've ordered 5,000 people to commit suicide. It was a hard decision, but that's what leadership is, making the hard decisions. We looked at the situation, we looked at the data, the conclusion was inescapable, the numbers don't lie. Which numbers? The ratings. The idea of eliminating government department by department is very popular with the viewing public. We looked at the numbers, and we had no choice. We ordered all department employees to commit suicide. We let them choose their termination date within a defined range of options because of the logistics of mass suicide management. I mean, we can't just leave them in chairs or on the ground. But wait, I want to stress this. We let them choose their own approach to suicide. Why? Freedom. Freedom is why we let them choose American freedom, the kind of American freedom that we're turning into American greatness. The kind of freedom where the leader can say, all of you have to kill yourselves. And the people say, really? And the leader says, yes. And all the people are sad trombones. Then the leader says, but the numbers don't lie. And the people say, oh, that's okay. And the leader says, but you can choose how you want to do it. And the people say, USA, USA. The freedom to choose how we kill ourselves. There's nothing more American.
Deep off the waters of Coney Island, where my word reigns supreme. Even the mermaids obey my every command. Mermaids, backstroke. Breaststroke. Frosted cupcake. As you can see, we have a very special prisoner here. A real scallywag, this one. Ah, yes, little Donnie Trump. Donnie, you've been a very bad boy. You have committed some pretty nasty crimes, you have. There's no redeeming you, little Donnie. You're a scoundrel, a rogue. You're a thief, a convicted criminal, a thin-skinned egomaniac, a bully, and the world's biggest liar. You've got no rules, at least none that apply to you. Well, we pirates, we follow a strict code, we do, and our code demands that we give you one chance to redeem yourself.
One chance?
That's right, answer any one of these riddles correctly, and we might even let you go. All right, little Donnie, are you ready? A pirate walks into a bar. He has a parrot on his shoulder, a peg leg, and a steering wheel in his pants. The bartender asks him if he knows he has a steering wheel in his pants. Little Donnie, do you know what the pirate answers? It's driving me nuts! Oh, little Donnie, you've been very bad. You've broken every law in the book, and you demand your just reward. You've broken every definition of basic human decencies. Your infractions go against the laws of the United States of America, Murphy's laws, Poisson's laws of binomial distribution, Isaac Newton's laws of gravity, alternate side of the street parking, and the United States Constitution. Hey, Donnie, the Second Amendment gave me the right to bear arms, but I got stuck with this fucking hook. Oh, little Donnie, speaking of the Constitution, you ready for another riddle? All right. What is the difference between prostitution and the Constitution?
One has its pros.
And the other has its cons.
Oh, little Donnie, you led the January 6th insurrection. Boo! You let a bunch of rogues ransack our Capitol. You let them try to destroy our democracy, and then you gave them all pardon. For this you condemn Hey, Donnie, when you lost the 2020 election, you got scared because you thought that they said you lost your erection.
Hey, Donnie, what's with your orange complexion?
It looks like he has an infection.
Well, I suppose you're wondering why I am the only pirate on this ship. Well, I used to have the best crew that a pirate could ever want. But you went and deported all me best blighties. Hey, Donnie, what is the difference between your father, Fred Trump, and an immigrant? Nothing! He is one of them! And what is up with that despicable little elf Nazi friend of yours, Elon Musk, Adolf Hitler? He's tearing up the United States Treasury to make himself richer. All right, this is it. One final riddle. Are you ready? What is the difference between Adolf Hitler and Elon Musk? Hitler is dead! Little Johnny jump-up dickhead, I hereby find you guilty of schmuckism in the first degree, douchebagism in the second degree, and assholeism in every degree in its purest form. I sentence you to death by walking the plank, but not just any plank. This plank will lead you into the waters of Coney Island, filled with the most ferocious Maenad mermaids you'll ever meet. Time for you to walk the plank!
Wait, don't I get to say a few words before I walk the plank? I have something you really ought to hear. I know many of you think I'm a major asshole, and maybe I am, but can I make a confession before you make me walk the plank? I always wanted to be a girl. That's right, a girl. Believe me when I tell you that's why I'm always grabbing women by the pussy. I have always wanted one, and not just any pussy, only the best pussy. I would have the most perfect pussy. I would fuck my own pussy. It would be the best sex I ever had. Oh, my pussy. My pussy would end the war in Ukraine in 24 hours. My pussy would be put on earth by God, and everybody would want to touch it. My gender dysphoria is so bad, sometimes I wear a pussy in my pants just to make myself feel better. It has done wonders for my self-esteem.
Oh, stop your whining. I've heard enough. That is the worst story I have ever heard. You're too much of an arsehole to ever be a girl. Time for you to walk the plank. Mermaids, show me what you're made out of.
supposed to host this show. This weird picture of a clown. Wait, did the show start?
Yeah.
Where are we?
Coney Island.
No, I figured that much.
Brick bar.
Where in the show?
We're in the show.
Where in the show are we?
Right at the
Intermission?
That's the one. That's it? Is that it? Yeah, okay. Got it. Hold on. I lost my butterfly. Yeah, okay. So for intermission, you're going to go out to the bar. And we've got some really cool stuff out there. Interactive, which means you get yourself some drinks and interact. And then we'll see you back here in about 20 minutes or so. We'll ring the bell.
Everyone knows the drill. Greetings, pleasantries. They say something, I start lying. My mind isn't wandering yet. I'm in a comfort zone. What I'm saying now is not even remotely coherent. I restate it as if repetition will fix the problem. 1, 2, 3, 4. I find myself modulating my voice up and down, sometimes the pitch, other times the volume, like I'm checking a knob to see if it works. This brings together things that have nothing to do with each other. I say one, then the next, the first A, the second B. I transmit different messages with my eyebrows. No time to linger. I've moved on to some garden variety lying. These are things I've said many times. My mouth can move independently. It's like a jazz drummer, left arm one thing, right leg another. Now this is exceedingly stupid. I double down on this exceedingly stupid thing. I stop paying attention. Hi-hat, snare drum. And here's a commercial break. In the better world that runs parallel to this one, the commercial break is very long. Everybody's stuck in the studio, chats, drinks whiskey, and smokes cigarettes. But in this one, it's 30 seconds. No one talks to me, and I don't talk to anyone else. And we're back. I'm fast out of the gate with an entirely untenable position. I hear myself talking like I'm floating outside my body. I wonder if anyone can see me floating outside my body. I'd like to wave at the camera, but I don't have motor skills. We've reached a part where I talk over someone. When I talk over someone, I mean shut up, stop talking, shut up. But tonight, my voice is shouty dada syllables. Every drummer sometimes loses the pulse. When we're done, one of them asks, was that Schwinders or Hugo Ball? And I say, I don't know what you're talking about.
They have both been an inspiration to me, and out of respect, I think it is right to depart as well. I treasure the bipartisan support for this institution as a beacon of America at our best. I hope the Kennedy Center continues to flourish and serve the passionate and diverse audience in our nation's capital and across the country. Renee Fleming.
Hi, Scott here. You're a hedge fund guy at Treasury. Today I want to talk to my people. You know, Barbie Palace, where I live, is like Olympus. It's a place for the elect to gather a tastefully appointed environment, a place for elite alpha males to recline. It has a Hadrian-style pool complex staffed by a small army of agreeable cabana boys who can bring you exactly the drink you're going to want before the thought is fully formed in your mind. And they can do this because we see into the future at Barbie Palace. We are not confined to the present in our thinking. We are not marooned in the now. Our superior social adaptation allows us to transcend the division of present and future. And when elite persons such as ourselves consider the universe of financial instruments, we see them dancing along a continuum of time. We know where things are headed. We can see the choreography. Looking through our perfectly balanced portfolios, we always know where to go short and where long. There's no such thing as risk. Some ways of winning are embedded in strategies that might take years to work out. And along the way, some might appear to bankrupt entire industries or look like they crashed the economy. But that's only if you take the short and stupid view. The short and stupid view is that of regulation. We are, by definition, beyond the plodding and maladapted bureaucrats who try to regulate us. Regulation is about resentment. They resent that they aren't us and can't be us, so they try to bring us down to their level. Compliance is a trick that forces us to see our own action from the viewpoint of slaves. Enforcement is just punishment for success by the embittered. These bureaucrats want to suffocate us with meaningless paperwork. Wasting time would be much better used heroically directing fees into our pockets, because if they have to go somewhere, and if we don't take them, some other asshole will, and that is nature. Look, sometimes things happen that look bad in the short run, but who takes the short run seriously? The mediocre and embittered who use the so-called financial crisis to impose on everyone their short and stupid view of everything. They said, you crashed the economy. They said, millions lost their homes. Well, where were they? If all these people who probably didn't deserve homes in the first place were so important, why were they invisible? Besides, 20 years, that was 20 years ago. Since then, we have moved on. Since then, we have continued directing fees to ourselves and preventing them from going to other assholes because nature. Let's forget about the past. I have. Let's forget about regulation and enforcement. What's that? People like us always win. Why fight it?
I am Dr. Smith. I will be conducting your evaluation today. I need to ask you a series of personal questions. You will answer them truthfully and completely. If you refuse to answer any question, note that it will be documented in your file. Everything you say is reported in your medical record. While this information is legally protected, understand that certain circumstances may require disclosure to the appropriate authorities. Do you understand these terms?
Let's just get to the questions.
State your age.
I just turned 16 a month ago.
How do you identify your gender?
I guess I identify as a girl. Wow, you're the first old person I ever told that to.
Your statement has been noted. What name do you expect to be called?
You mean my dead name? That's Stephen Jenkins, but please don't call me that.
When did you first begin experiencing so-called gender dysphoria? Describe the exact age and specific thoughts and feelings you had.
I've been feeling like a girl as long as I can remember. I've always been attracted to girly things, you know? Dresses, makeup, dolls, everything. But I never said anything about it because I was a boy and boys aren't supposed to think like that, you know what I mean? I just kept it to myself. Now that I'm a little older, my whole situation makes me really confused and unhappy about myself. Like, all the time.
How frequently do you express this identity in public? If you do not, explain why.
I don't express my gender identity anywhere. It doesn't feel safe to be a girl for me. I'm afraid of how people will react to me or getting beat up. I'm just not ready for that.
Describe your feelings about your physical body. Be specific. Elaborate. What physical characteristics would you alter if permitted?
I wish I could grow breasts for sure. And I'd like to have round hips. Is that possible? I've heard there are hormones to take for that.
Those interventions exist but are not relevant. Continue describing what physical attributes cause you distress. What other anatomical features disturb you?
I'm a little embarrassed to say it, but I hate my penis. I wish I could cut it off, but that sounds really scary to even try. Sometimes I tape it back between my legs, and when I look in the mirror, it almost looks like I don't have one.
Describe your idealized physical appearance in detail.
I'd love to have a body just like Beyonce, just as glamorous as her. She's my role model, and I want to look just like her.
Have you previously sought medical intervention for gender transition?
No, I've never talked to a doctor about any of this before. Can you help me with that?
That determination will be made following this assessment. You will continue answering my questions.
Yeah, sure.
Detail your family's response to your gender identity issues.
Oh man, that's heavy duty. My dad is always yelling at me to stop acting like a fag. He thinks I'm not man enough, that I act like a girl. He's a really big physical type who works in construction. He just doesn't get it, and I'm terrified if he finds out that I really am a girl.
Describe your mother's position on this matter.
I haven't told either of my parents that I feel like I'm a girl. I'm afraid they'd kick me out of the house. My mother is really religious. She's a Christian, you know? And she'd go full throttle Jesus on me if I told her I really am a girl. I always hear her saying that gays are an abomination unto the Lord. I can only imagine what she'd have to say about her son wanting to be her daughter. I'm really afraid to tell my parents. My dad might beat the hell out of me and kick me out of the house, and my mom would condemn me to hell. How can I ever tell them?
Explain your educational performance and experience.
I guess school's okay. My grades are okay, but I don't like anything they're teaching me there. It's all pretty boring, and none of it seems like important stuff that matters.
Are your peers aware of your claimed gender identity?
A few people. We have this gay straight alliance club at school. I sometimes go to the meetings. I have a few friends there that accept me as I really am, and everybody in the club calls me Stephanie when I'm in the room. It's the only place I've ever been where I feel like I can just be myself. But when the meetings are over and I leave the room, I can't be Stephanie outside. No way. People in the school are just too mean, and I'd be afraid if people knew the truth about me.
Report any sexual activity you've engaged in.
I don't feel comfortable with that sort of thing. I don't like my body. In fact, I hate seeing that thing between my legs. I wouldn't feel comfortable sharing my body with anyone. That'd be just about the last thing I'd want to do.
State your sexual orientation. Are you homosexual, heterosexual, or bisexual?
I like boys mostly. Doesn't that make me gay? That's what the boys at school and my dad would call me. I mean, isn't that messed up? If I'm a girl and I like boys, doesn't that make me straight?
We're simply documenting objective facts here.
I guess I'm not too sure.
Let's move on. Have you experienced physical or sexual trauma? Detail any such incidents.
When I was about 10 years old, the school janitor took me down to the basement. He locked the door and pulled down his pants. He made me touch his, I was terrified. He told me if I told anybody about it, he'd kill me. It only happened that one time.
Did you report this incident to the appropriate authorities?
No, I didn't tell anybody about it. I didn't think my parents would believe me, and I thought they would blame me for doing it, even if they did.
While we were standing on the edge of the George Washington Bridge, were you planning to jump?
I figured that if I could never be a girl, then I might as well not live. I could hear people calling out to me from their passing cars, "Hey kid, get away from that edge," and things like that. But I blocked it all out. I wanted to jump off and end it all. After a while, a police car came and a policeman came and pulled me down off the edge. The other policeman asked me why I was standing up on the edge like that. I told him it was because I'm a girl in a boy's body and that nobody would ever understand that. He asked me why I would want to make a decision like that. I told him this is not a decision I'm making. This is who I am, and nobody seems to understand that.
List any previous psychiatric treatment or medication you have received.
I told you I've never talked to an adult about any of They would throw me out, or my dad would kill me if I told them who I really am. They're gonna be really upset about me when they hear about what I told you.
Parents and the authorities will be informed of whatever is deemed medically and psychiatrically necessary. That decision is not yours to make.
If I don't get to deal with this somehow soon, I'll be back up on that bridge again, and I'll jump before anyone can stop me. So is this how it's gonna be? Kids thinking about killing themselves?
We stand beside, or at least near. We stand in the same building. Okay. We're in the same general vicinity as our allies. I mean, look, we'd like to lead everything all the time, but we have other shit to do, frankly. Like remaking our military so we can deliver even more psychotic violence. Just go out there, kill. That's what we like, kill. And cool hats, maybe with antlers, they're really scary. We just need to have, pragmatic discussions. Also, I want to categorically deny that we throw away all our cards whenever whatever I'm talking about involves cards, because as hegemons, as gods, cards only exist because we say so. We never lose, and that's how gods walking the earth roll. Ever read Ovid? Now there's some gods for you, going around having a few cocktails, feeling their god powers, and beating the shit out of whoever richly deserves it that happens to be around. A wife, maybe. Because they're gods. They can do what they like. And that's as it should be. And that's what we're bringing back to make whatever I'm talking about great again. Because now, isn't so great. I look around and I say, this isn't so great. I look around some more and then I say, is this great? And then, because I've already been looking around a bunch, I say, it isn't so great. It isn't so great. Do you see greatness? I sure don't. So we need to bring that back. The greatness, I mean. The greatness of unlimited psychotic violence and hats with antlers. The greatness of go team, we never lose, we can never lose because the game only exists because we say it does. And that's what I'm talking about. USA! USA! Thank you.
I remember being in Chicago and beginning to wear women's clothes out in public. Only in certain circles, of course. To conceal my identity, I would keep a drag bag. Oftentimes, I would go into a gender-neutral bathroom. Those were new back then. I would walk in as a boy and walk out as a girl. I'm Gen X, born and raised in Texas, so transitioning options were not comfortable or available to me in my youth. Tranny, sissy, she-belle, crossdresser, all of these labels floated through my male ego internal stream of unconscious. I guess that's me, but I don't want to kill myself to believe it or to live it. There was a day that a queer friend saw me on the street dressed gender neutral, but clearly in full faggot regalia. She asked if I was transitioning. Her question hit me powerful with hope. I thought, why not? For the first time, I asked myself, why am I not transitioning? Years later, living back in Brooklyn, I was out and living the majority of my existence en femme. I was erasing my male self. The gauntlet of leaving a comfortable life with a perfect wife was brutal and exhilarating. Of course, it was my fault that the marriage failed. What's wrong with him? Is he gay? Why would he do this? It's a sin. He deserves nothing and will rot in hell. At the beginning, it's hard to lose everything and everybody. But once the rooms are cleared and your heart is hollow, you begin to reclaim life from your death. Many people only focus on the changes that HRT has on the body, loss of virility, chemical castration, fat redistribution, etc. But the mental fog that lifted once testosterone was evacuated from my body and estrogen became the dominant hormone was like finally not only seeing myself, but life through the eyes of a person who was destined to never live. Granted some sudden life from being birthed into a tomb. The body changes were also exhilarating, and I finally felt free. I was so charged with hope, even standing in the wreckage of my past, the wreckage of my mismatched, ugly, fucked up body. I still had so much hope and a thirst for survival. I went through hell to perfect my broken image as best I could. Years of testosterone leaves permanent traits that can be erased through painful procedures. Facial feminization, 8 hours under the knife, floating in anesthesia. Not the kind of drug I would choose if choosing. The sickening shock of waking up, evacuating the anesthesia from my system for 24 hours was worse than having my face peeled off and my brow bone shaved down with a Dremel. So close. I was so fucking close. My poor body, my poor soul. How could she have such a strong spirit after being born dead? After escaping her tomb, how could she dare to want to live? Years of long-enduring electrolysis sessions and laser sessions to erase my Greek boy beard from my Greek girl face. It's not easy. No one would pick this body and soul as a choice. It has not been an easy path. I earned my mangled life. I fought so hard to have these few years understanding and loving my sad self in the best life existence. There were fleeting moments and hours of bliss and satisfaction spinning into my final broken form. I didn't realize, but perhaps always dreamed I was a firefly, or lightning bug as we called them in Texas, living a dream of being human. Now, I will be gone. Forever erased, rubbed out. Once out of sight, the extinctionists will all forget the hate they had for me. Unfortunately, they will cast it onto the next person they don't understand and fear. The extinctionists will sleep righteous, well knowing the hatred they manifested was so worth it. To cause pain and death, to cause a life to stop, that is their victory. They are truly pathetic. I have felt sorrow up to the end. I couldn't help it. It's what built me, what got me here, my destiny. It was more bitter than sweet. But I am not a failure, a disappointment, as they said. The last touch I will feel is self-violence. But I won't die by the hand of evil that they worship or by accepting the fate or judgment they gave me. It's my choice in the end, and I'm happy to leave. This party sucks. Hell is other people, most people as far as I know, because I am not a people, not human, not American, they said. But they didn't get me in the end. See, I finally get myself. I've always said trans and queer people are not extinctionists. We do not wish for the eradication of even those who wish to eradicate us. We are survivalists. Understand, even the smallest crumb we acquired, we paid for in blood and flesh. Our blood, our flesh. We wrought no pain upon others as they did upon us.
Moment of silence.
I wasn't so much marching with the protest as I was watching it, taking photos of it. But then someone came up to me and said, I have an extra sign, an extra gravestone. Do you want to join the die-in? How is it they chose me? I'm not talking about the person handing me the sign. By they, I mean the virus. They, this evolutionary intelligence with a structure and behavior which is remarkably effective at propagation. I'm the host now of this intelligence, this information, this story that will be emerging full-blown soon. I am the harbinger. Their story is my story. The H5N1 strain of the bird flu has an increased ability to bind to the human respiratory tract and has a 60% fatality rate. So I must keep moving with this story, keep telling it. This journey is my act of contrition. I grew up as the oldest boy in a large family. My family's farm was just outside Chicago, and nearby was one of those factory farms that produced eggs. Not all their eggs went to market. The factory chose certain breeding hens and roosters to produce eggs that would be incubated. Of course, Only 50% of the chicks born from these eggs would be hens. But it takes 6 to 8 weeks before you can tell the sex of a chicken. At that point, they would call my family and give us as many rooster chicks as we wanted. The rest of these chicks were nothing more than a useless byproduct. They were hung upside down by their feet on a line, flailing, terrified, as their heads were dragged through electrified water. The market called our little roosters either spring chickens or broilers. The name comes from the meat product they were destined to become. The 50 or so chicks my family raised would peck around the acre of lawn surrounding the farmhouse, feeding on seeds and worms and insects. As a kid, at feeding time, I tossed the chicks ground up pieces of corn kernels. They would run up to my feet en masse, surrounding me in their joy. It was my favorite farm work. But after about 6 weeks of feeding, the chicks were big enough and ready for slaughter, something I never witnessed until I was maybe 11 or 12. That's the age when I was considered old enough and strong enough to kill. The slaughter was simple and quick. Unknowingly, the chicks would run up to my feet thinking they were about to be fed. You could easily pick them up one by one, then grip their neck and head with one hand, and then with a quick downward snap, the body and head would separate. For maybe a minute, the headless body would flail all over the yard, you know, like a chicken with its head cut off. I have a lot of nostalgia about growing up on my family farm, but these headless, flailing chickens is a vision that disrupts the idyllic childhood memories. It haunts me to this day. So, if I could find my way to the temple, I'll carry this story, this act of contrition. I'll carry it there. I don't know what I'll find there, if I find anything. I don't know what the egg story means or why I'm carrying it for so long, my whole life. It's been a secret that is just now emerging into the open. It's like a virus that's been living inside me, dormant. Perhaps I'll survive. Perhaps the virus will adapt. Or maybe I'll adapt. And maybe someday the birds and I will live together again, somewhere, somehow, some way, happy.
star and receive a gold name. They're waiting for you. And the freak bar is also waiting for you. Later on, a few of us, you're welcome to join. With two of us polar bears, we're gonna go with famous Amos. He's gonna lead us down to the waters of Coney Island down here. We're gonna